During 9/11, I was sitting at my desk actually, and one of my friends, the athletic secretary, walked in the room and she bent over and she said, "Look at your computer." And the kids were taking the I-STEP exam. And the room was very quiet, and the kids had no idea. And I checked my computer, and that's when I saw the plane hit the building. And it was very hard not to react, but they didn't want the kids to know while they were testing. So I just kind of sat there, sort of in shock and horror that all this was going on. Well, I like the fact that our principals have made a point of, taking a moment to have a moment of silence. I think it's hard, because even now to really think about it much or remember it. So I think if you're not alive or you're not a part of these terrible things that happen, I think it's hard. I mean, it's hard to really, for these kids, for you kids, to remember what it was like. It was a terrible time, and for me, I'll never forget it.
So we were in the middle of I-STEP testing at the middle school, and my kids were working on the test, and one of the teachers who teaches social studies sent an email that said, "Hey, one of the Twin Towers was just hit by a plane." And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, what a horrible, horrendous accident." Not just a few minutes later, he said, "Another plane has struck the tower. Our country is under attack." At the end of the day, our principal came on the announcements and talked to them a little bit about what happened and just asked them to go home and spend time with their families and reflect on, the things that they had in their lives and think of those people who lost their lives. So they were shocked. It was a hard thing to hear. I just make sure that people or students remember. I always put something up on 9/11 on my board. I want them to remember. I want them to know, because some of them don't. Some of them weren't even born when that happened. I wanted to know, the tremendous loss of life and the heroes that fought, not only on the airplanes, but on the ground, helping to pull people out of the rubble. And so I just always want people to remember what happened.